Hello, Durud and Shalom. Guys, history is being made in front of our eyes. The whole shape of the Middle East and the entire world is changing. As we speak, this is a very historical day. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's only a matter of hours. The clock is ticking. Like seriously, like Trump actually gave a deadline, and it's actually very genius. The plan is very genius. So let's actually look at all of this together. So let me actually go from the beginning. But as they come in and get ready,
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and the Prime Minister of the State of Israel.
All right, so as they come in, I'm going to pay attention to the chat. Nail Bunny is here, Flying Robot Duck is here, Amir is here, Jack, Lisa, Sosh said,
Thank you very much,
is
everybody.
here. Okay, they're speaking now.
So this is a big day, a beautiful day, potentially one of the great days ever in civilization. Things that have been going on for hundreds of years and thousands of years. At least we're at a minimum very, very close, and I think we're beyond very close. And I want to thank Bibi for really getting in there and doing a job. We worked well together, as we have with many other countries, both of us, with many other countries, which is the only way this whole situation gets solved. And I'm not just talking about Gaza. Gaza is one thing, but we're talking about much beyond Gaza. The whole deal, everything getting solved. It's called peace in the Middle East. So today is a historic day for peace, and Prime Minister Netanyahu and I have just concluded an important meeting on many vital issues, including Iran, trade, the expansion of the Abraham Accords, and most importantly, we discussed how to end the war in Gaza, but it's just a part of the bigger picture, which is peace in the Middle East. And let's call it eternal peace in the Middle East. So this is far more than anybody expected, but the level of support that I've had from the nations in the Middle East and surrounding Israel and neighbors of Israel has been incredible, incredible. Every single one of them. This afternoon, after extensive consultation with our friends and partners throughout the region, I'm formally releasing our principles for peace, which people have really liked, I must say. And these are done, not just routinely done, these are done with total consideration and working with the nations that we're talking about. All of these nations have made contributions to those suggestions. I want to thank the leaders of many Arab and Muslim nations for their tremendous support in developing the proposal, along with many of our allies in Europe. Europe has been very much involved, and as I was called by many of the European leaders, most of them saying, is this true? Are you really doing peace in the Middle East? This is the most incredible thing we've heard. Some think it's the biggest thing they've ever heard. They called just to find out, was it just a rumor or is it actually done? And then they said, have you spoken to the Arab leaders? Have you spoken to all of the other leaders that we have to get? A lot of people involved in this one. I also want to thank Prime Minister Netanyahu for agreeing to the plan and for trusting that it.
All right, so Netanyahu, whatever the plan is, they finally are on the same, because there's a lot of talk regarding Netanyahu's plan and Trump's plan not being the same, and they're having disagreement. But apparently, based on what everybody's saying, that now Trump and Netanyahu, they're now in agreement. I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but they seem to be aligned now going forward.
We work together, we can bring an end to the death and destruction that we've seen for so many years, decades, even centuries, and begin a new chapter of security, peace, and prosperity for the entire region. And I want to just say that my meetings and dialogue that we had with so many countries, Saudi Arabia as an example, the king is a phenomenal person. The Emir of Qatar, he's an incredible people. UAE, and that's MBZ and ABZ, We've totally involved. These are the people that we've been dealing with and who've been actually very much involved in this negotiation, giving us ideas, things they can live with, things they can't live with. Pretty complex. I mean, after 2,000, 3,000 years, whatever it is, I guess it's got to be a little complex, or it would have been done a long time ago. The King of Jordan was with us, as you know, in the United Nations. The president of...
By the way, as it goes forward, you will see that I don't know what the plan seems to be, that they're getting ready for something really big. I'm not sure exactly what, but they basically are giving an ultimatum. They're giving a warning to Hamas, and I think their assumption is that Hamas is not going to agree, but they're going to basically show the whole world that we all came and we had an agreement for peace, and Hamas didn't agree with it. So now we're going to go all in and basically change the shape of the Middle East and the future of everything, because we already gave them, I don't know, 72 hours. So this is gonna, I don't know what they're getting ready for. It seems like they had all the generals in one place, all the US generals in one place, because it seems like they're getting ready for something big. I'm not sure.
Turkey, President Erdogan is a friend of mine, a strong man, but a good man. President of Indonesia, somebody who's an amazing leader, Prabowo. He is an amazing leader and respected by everybody. He was in the room with us. We were together with most of these people that I'm mentioning. Others were by phone or the next day. The Prime Minister and the Field Marshal of Pakistan.
So they had all of these people, all of these leaders of all these Islamic countries on the line, and Netanyahu was there, and they also had the recent meeting with all the generals of United States. What are they getting ready for?
They were with us right from the beginning. Incredible. In fact, they just put out a statement that they fully believe in this pact. It just came out just as I was walking around. They said, "Sir, you have a big notice from the Prime Minister of Pakistan and from the Field Marshal that they back this 100%. President El-Sisi of Egypt, who's terrific. And these are people I've gotten to know over the years. I mean, I would say it started around 2015 and then went into 2016 when the presidency officially began. But I've known him actually for a long time, and there are in many cases really great men. I can't say in all cases, but I will tell you in many cases they're great men and some great women too. They tend to be mostly men, however, I will say that. But if accepted by Hamas, this proposal calls for the release of all remaining hostages immediately, but in no case more than 72 hours.
72 hours since this speech came out. So I think it's already like 20 of it is already passed or more. So let's say 50 hours left. Basically, they're trying to show that they put something on the table. Everybody agrees on it. Islamic countries, Arab countries, Israel, United States, Europeans agree on it. So Hamas has 72 hours to agree to say yes. And if it doesn't say yes, then we're going to just go in and do whatever the fuck we want. And the world cannot blame Israel. I mean, not us, Israel. We will give Israel the green light to go into Gaza and do whatever the fuck it wants. And the world cannot condemn Israel anymore because we gave Hamas the chance to agree something that all of us were in agreement with. So this is actually kind of smart.
So the hostages are coming back, and I hate even saying this from the standpoint, doesn't sound right, but it is so important to the parents. The bodies of the young men, I believe in almost all cases, the young men are coming back immediately. I met with parents. The parents felt as strongly about getting the body of their dead boy back as they did as though the boy were alive and well. It's so important to them. And it means the immediate end to the war itself, not just Gaza. It's the war itself. Under the plan, Arab and Muslim countries have committed and in writing in many cases, but I actually would take their word for it. The people I mentioned, I'd take their word for it. To demilitarize Gaza, and that's quickly. Decommission the military capabilities of Hamas and all other terror organizations. Do that immediately. And we're relying on the countries that I named and others to deal with Hamas. And I'm hearing that Hamas wants to get this done too, and that's a good thing.
Really? You hear Hamas wants to get this done too? Okay, we'll see, guys. How many more hours are left? This is, I think, 50 hours, 40
And
hours?
destroy all terror infrastructure, including the tunnels, weapons of.
Really, Hamas has agreed that you come in and destroy all the terror infrastructure and they disarm and we completely dismantle Hamas? Has Hamas really agreed to that?
And destroy all terror infrastructure, including the tunnels, weapons of production facilities. They have a lot of production facilities that we're destroying. They'll also help train local police forces in the areas that we're discussing right now, in particular in and around Gaza, working with the new transitional authority in Gaza. All parties will agree on a timeline for Israeli forces to withdraw in phases. They'll be withdrawing in phases. No more shooting, hopefully, as progress is made toward achieving these goals.
Okay, so the agreement is that Hamas agrees to dismantle and all the terror infrastructure is destroyed, and Israel moves out in phases, and then a transition government comes into place and controls the area. Who's the transition government? All of these countries or combined? Okay, I don't
Arab and Muslim nations need to be allowed the chance to fulfill these commitments of dealing with Hamas. They have to deal with them because they were the one group that we have not dealt with. I haven't dealt with them. But the Arab countries are going to, and Muslim countries are going to be dealing with Hamas, and I believe they've already been there. I think they probably have an understanding, and they haven't maybe mentioned that, but I would imagine they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone as far as they've gone. If they're unable to do so, then Israel would have the absolute right and actually our full backing, the U.S. full backing. Marco's here. A lot of our leaders are here, our great vice president, Susie Wiles, Steve Witkoff.
Do you guys saw what just happened? So this, I like this plan. All right, you're like, you guys, come here, deal with Hamas if you can, and if you can't, then back the fuck off and let Israel do whatever it wants. And this is actually a good position. I'm finally like, if this, I don't know if this is going to happen the way he's saying it or not, but this is what the United States should have been doing, like the backing. So anybody who says that Israel should be doing something else, well, here's your chance. If you fail, get the fuck out of the way and stop complaining about what Israel is doing. That's fantastic. This is good. I like this.
Our full backing, the U.S. full banking.
Yeah. So you're like, if you can't do this, then not only Israel will have the green light, they will have the full backing of the United States. This is beautiful. I like this.
Have gone as far as they've gone. If they're unable to do so, then Israel would have the absolute right and actually our full backing, the U.S. full backing. Marco's here. A lot of our leaders are here, our great vice president, Susie Wiles, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. They've been so involved in this process. I don't think anybody else could have done it or even come close. But it's we're right there. We're right there. First time in thousands of years, I think you can probably say, if you really look into it, if you study back, if you're a scholar, you would say thousands of years. Israel would have my full backing to finish the job of destroying the threat of Hamas. But I hope that we're going to have a deal for peace.
So here's the deal for peace. Everyone agrees on it. If it doesn't work out, then Israel can do no. I mean, nobody gets to complain anymore. Nobody should be able to complain anymore because here's your chance. Here's your chance, Hamas. Here's your chance, the rest of the world. You know, you keep complaining about Israel. Well, Here's their chance. If you can't get this done, then fuck off.
And if Hamas rejects the deal, which is always possible, they're the only one left. Everyone else is accepted.
Oh, look at this. If Hamas rejects the deal, I wish he would finish the sentence before he goes off talking about other things.
We're going to have a deal for peace. And if Hamas rejects the deal, which is always possible, they're the only one left. Everyone else has accepted it. But I have a feeling that we're going to have a positive answer. But if not, as you know, Bibi, you'd have our full backing to do what you would have to do. Everyone understands that.
So this is basically the end of Hamas. If they agree, that would be the end of Hamas because they're agreeing to dismantling Hamas. If they disagree, then no more United States getting in the way of Israel.
To do what you would have to do. Everyone understands that the ultimate result must be the elimination of any danger posed in the region. And the danger is caused by Hamas. The tyranny of terror has to end. And this is, again, something that we're looking for. This is eternity. This is for forever. To ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the.
See, I like this version of Trump. I don't like the version of Trump that keeps talking, against Netanyahu sometimes. This version of Trump I like.
To ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace, we call it, the Board of Peace, sort of a beautiful name, the Board of Peace, which will be headed, not at my request, believe me, I'm very busy, but we have to make sure this works. The leaders of the Arab world and Israel and everybody involved asked me to do this, so it would be headed by a gentleman known as President Donald J. Trump of the United States. That's what I want, is some extra work to do, but it's so important that I'm willing to do it, and we'll do it right, and we're going to put leaders from other countries on, and leaders that are very distinguished leaders, and we'll have a board, and one of the people that wants to be on the board is the UK former Prime Minister, Tony Blair. Good man.
Wow. Okay, so they're making a board, a peace board for the Middle East, and Trump is going to be on the board, and Tony Blair is going to be Trump and Tony Blair on the board for peace in the Middle East at the same time. Interesting.
Very good man. And some others, and they'll be named over the next few days. And it'll be quite the board. Working, everybody wants to be on it now.
Hey, can you put Prince Reza Pahlavi on that board? I think you need to put Prince Reza Pahlavi on that board. Guys, somebody make this happen. Somebody call somebody. But how many seats are on this board? One of those seats needs to go to Prince Reza Pahlavi.
And it'll be quite the board. Working, everybody wants to be on it now. I don't know if that had anything to do. They named me and everybody else wanted to be on it. I guess they figure, well, he's a soft touch. He'll be easy to deal with. Working with the World Bank and others, it will be responsible for recruiting and training a new government that will be made up of Palestinians along with highly qualified experts from all around the world. Hamas and other terrorist factions will play no role in the board, but they'll play no role in the governance of Gaza at all.
Wait, what? So, guys, this is obviously the 72 hours is going to go past, and Hamas is not going to agree to this, because you're saying Hamas has to agree to completely just going extinct. That's the deal. Like, the deal is, Hamas, do you want to get annihilated willingly, or do you want us to come in and annihilate you? Like, basically, Hamas would think, well, at least if I fight, I will have a fighting chance. So I don't think they would agree to this. What do you guys think? I think Hamas would not agree to this.
They'll play no role in the governance of Gaza at all, directly or indirectly. As you know, thousands of Hamas leaders have been killed and soldiers have been killed. And we can never forget October 7th, but thousands have paid the price for that. And now it's time to get our hostages back and get back to trying to build something that's really great and very important. In our meeting today, Prime Minister Netanyahu was very clear about his opposition to a Palestinian state. And he continuously mentions October 7th, and I understand that. Most people do. And I understand and respect his position on many things, but what he's doing today is so good for Israel. I noticed that they have large crowds gathering in Israel all the time, and they have my name up. They like me for whatever reason, Bibi, I don't know, but they do like me. But they say two things: please get the hostages back and please end the war. They've had it. It's had it. So I think it's a very popular thing you do, because he's a warrior. He doesn't know about getting back to a normal way of life, but he is a warrior.
Look at it. So Trump is talking about some of the tensions in Israel, but then he calls Netanyahu a warrior. This is going to really piss off the isolationist part of MAGA, right? The ones that hate Netanyahu. He's calling Netanyahu a warrior.
So
this is.
I think it's a very popular thing you do, because he's a warrior. He doesn't know about getting back to a normal way of life, but he is a warrior, and Israel's lucky to have him.
So it's good, because Trump was saying that he will stand against Netanyahu regarding the settlements in the West Bank, and Trump wants a two-state solution. Netanyahu doesn't. But here he's being nicer than before, because here he's saying, I understand why Netanyahu says the things that he says, in response to October 7th, and given that he's a warrior and he's not going to just back down when you come and hurt the people of my country. He's going to go into warrior mode, and he's not going to back down. So here he's basically even though they disagree on the two-state solution, he says he's basically mentioning that he has an understanding of why Netanyahu does the thing that he does.
But now the people want to get back to peace. They want to get back to normalization in a true sense. Several countries have.
So Netanyahu wants the war to continue. Trump wants the war to stop, and he says, I understand him, but people in Israel want to go back to peace.
Want to get back to.
By the way, before this, so many Israelis were contacting Trump saying that stop Netanyahu from continuing to war. Like Trump was getting so many letters from Israelis saying that please stop this man. Some, not all, okay. Mostly, I think maybe the family of the hostages.
To have them. But now the people want to get back to peace. They want to get back to normalization in a true sense. Several countries have foolishly recognized the Palestinian state. As you know, some of our European friends, allies, good people, but they're really, I think, doing that because they're very tired of what's going on for so many decades. They've been presidents and prime ministers for years, and during this time, having to do with the Middle East, all they're doing is talking about the same thing over and over. They want to see it get back, and nobody wants that more than me, or I believe Bibi too. But the people of Israel want it. They really want it. They want the hostages back. That includes the probably 32 bodies that we're talking about, 20 people.
I'm on Netanyahu's side on this, because the hostages are important, but it's more important that we don't get more hostages in the future, right? That we have to avoid. It's important to get back the hostages, but I think the priority should be that we never go back to in a position where you have to negotiate for hostages ever again. That's why I'm in favor of actually continuing the war until Hamas is gone.
People that are living, 32 or so people that are dead, and they want to have peace. So let us not forget how we got here. Hamas was elected by the Palestinian people. Israel withdrew from Gaza thinking they would live in peace. Remember that a long time ago? They withdrew. They said, "You take it."
Yes, people keep saying that's very good, because every time you say October 7th, people are like, "Well, history didn't start on October 7th." Okay, let's keep going back. Every single time conflict between Israel and so-called Palestinians started because the so-called Palestinians, the Arab side started it, the Islamic side started it. Okay, every single time. So he's like, yeah, let's go back. You want to go before October 7th? Let's go back. Here's the history.
By the Palestinian people. Not forget how we got here. Hamas was elected by the Palestinian people. Israel withdrew from Gaza thinking they would live in peace. Remember that a long time ago? They withdrew. They said, you take it. This is our contribution to peace. But that didn't work out. That didn't work out. It was the opposite of peace. They pulled away. They let them have it. And I never forgot that because I said, that doesn't sound like a good deal to me. As a real estate person, I mean, they gave up the ocean, right? Ron, they gave up the ocean. They said, who would do this deal? And
Trump is obsessed with beachfront property. He's like, what? Like, it's amazing. Israel is constantly accused of trying to expand the Greater Israel Project, but nobody has given up more land than Israel for the sake of peace. And Trump is like, oh my God, they gave up the land that was on the ocean. What would you do that? Why would you do that? He's obsessed with any land that is on the beach.
Ron, they gave up the ocean. They said, who would do this deal? And it still didn't work out. They were very generous, actually.
Yes, Israel was very generous, but the so-called Palestinians voted for Hamas and declared war on Israel instead of being grateful for this kind act from Israel.
And they gave up the most magnificent piece of land in many ways in the Middle East. And they said, all we want to do now is have peace. And that request was not honored. Instead of building a better life for the Palestinians, Hamas diverted resources to build over 400 miles of tunnels and terror infrastructure, rocket production facilities, and hid their military command posts and launch sites in hospitals, schools, and mosques. So if you went after them, you'd be after them and you wouldn't even realize you ended up knocking out a hospital or school or a mosque. A terrible thing, terrible, terrible way to have to fight. No fight is good, but that's a real bad one. So there are many Palestinians who wish to live in peace. Many. I've seen so many of them. And they have support. And I challenge the Palestinians to take responsibility for their destiny, because that's what we're giving them. We're giving them responsibility.
Yeah, you chose wrong. You chose Hamas, and look at your life now. You were given an opportunity. So-called Palestinians, Israel give you your land 20 years ago so that you could give you the best of lands right on the beach. You could have been the Singapore of the Middle East. Look at you now. You chose wrong 20 years ago. Here's another chance. Don't make the same fucking mistake again for the sake of your own children.
Ability for their destiny, because that's what we're giving them. We're giving them responsibility for their destiny. Fully condemn and prohibit terrorism and earn their way to a brighter future. They don't want the life that they've had. They've had a rough life.
Something tells me you're going to still make the wrong choice now. Something tells me, yeah, people are saying free Palestine in the chat. Yep. Well, here's your fucking chance. Something tells me you're going to make the wrong decision again, just like you did again and again and again before. Something tells me that you are going to, here's the chance for peace. Something tells me that you're going to choose the blood of your children being spent on your delusional hope for a victory over the Jews. Your delusion is going to make you suffer. It's going to make your children suffer, and it's going to make your grandchildren suffer. And it's all because of you. You keep want to blame it. You want to blame Israel. It's all because of your own stupid decisions.
Their destiny, fully condemn and prohibit terrorism and earn their way to a brighter future. They don't want the life that they've had. They've had a rough life with Hamas. If the Palestinian Authority does not complete the reforms that I laid out in my vision for peace in 2020, they'll have only themselves to blame. We're giving them an amazing footprint, and they have amazing support from the leaders of the Arab world and the Muslim world, the great leaders. These are great leaders. These are unbelievable leaders that have built great countries and very wealthy countries. What the future holds for the Palestinians, no one really knows, but the plan that we put forward today is focused on ending the war immediately, getting all of our hostages back, getting everything back, hard to believe when you even say it, and creating conditions for durable Israeli security and Palestinian success. Israeli security is going to be involved. We're going to help you. We'll be there with you.
I want to know who's going to be involved in the security. Israeli forces, who else? Who else? This is very interesting. Guys, who do you think is going to be involved? By the way, make sure you like the stream. Like the stream so more people see this.
In terms of helping with security, we want to make sure it works. We just want to make sure it works. There shouldn't be a shot fired. Now, there will be, I guess, because that's the way it seems to be, but they shouldn't have to be within a few days. There shouldn't have to be a shot fired. And maybe for eternity. Wouldn't that be nice? I hope it's true. I can tell you the leadership of that region feels that there's a good chance of it being true. So this will lead to this agreement that we're talking about will lead to a sustainable long-term peace. No president in history has been a greater friend of the state of Israel than I have, in addition to negotiating the Abraham Accords. I like to say it that way because the real people, that's what they call Abraham.
Oh, really? We call it Ibrahim. So we have Abraham, and Abraham. So
I would say Abraham, but it's so much nicer when you say Abraham.
Okay.
So much more elegant.
Okay, I'm going to call it Abraham from now on.
But the Abraham Accords, they were amazing. Jared, you did that along with your group of geniuses.
Abraham.
And nobody thought that could be done. We have
in Persian, we call it Peymane Ibrahim. Peymane Ibrahim.
4 countries, and Sleepy Joe Biden didn't do a thing. He didn't even know what the hell they were. He should have had them fold up. But I think this will also lead to packing them. And who knows, maybe even Iran can get in there. I hope. We hope we're going to be able to get along with
Mr. Trump, President Trump. The only way Iran will get in there, is if the regime collapses. Iran will not get into that agreement, into the pact with the Islamic Republic. The only way for Iran to get in there is for a regime change to happen in Iran first, and then you could have Iran in this agreement under the leadership of Prince Reza Pahlavi. That's the only way. And by the way, by that, if you get Iran, it wouldn't be called the Abraham Accord anymore. It would be called the Cyrus Accord after that. When you get Iran, we need a rebranding of this accord, and we call it the Cyrus Accord.
We hope we're going to be able to get along with
Javid Shah, everyone.
Iran. I think they're going to be open to it. I really believe that. But they could be a member. I long ago said, I'll bet you at some point Iran will be a member of the Accords. And little did I realize it was going to take this turn. That was some turn we did with the B-2s. But I think they might very well be there. It's a great thing for them.
Nope, not under this regime. No way under this regime. It's in the DNA of this regime to be anti-so-called imperialist and anti-Zionist. There is no changing this regime. The only way to get Iran is to do a regime change first.
Economically, I recognize the eternal capital of Israel. I opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. That was something that everyone said would never be done, could never be done. Virtually every president for many, many years, for decades, would campaign on making Jerusalem the capital of Israel. They campaigned on it over and over. Is that right, Steve? Is that right? Everyone, and when they got to it, and I understand why now, because it was so. When I got to office, I campaigned on it too. I said, we're going to make it. And then I'd get calls from the leaders of various countries saying, please don't do it. Please don't do it. It'll end the whole world. Please don't do it. And finally, I just didn't say anything, and I did it. People were calling me before I did it because I heard I was going to do it. And leaders of countries were calling me. And I think it was on a Thursday that I did it. And they'd call me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3-4 times a day. And I said, tell them I'll call them back on Friday. And I announced it on Thursday. And I called them back, the biggest people in the world. And they said, you've done it. I said, done what? You've made the capital of Israel, Jerusalem. And we wanted to talk yet. I wish you called me a little sooner. Maybe I could have done something about it. So that was a lot easier than getting into an argument because I knew what they were calling about. And you know what? It turned out to be amazing. Everybody thought it was going to lead to the end of the world, right? The end of the world, Ron. That's what they said. It didn't lead to anything. It just led to something that I promised and something that was very, very popular for Jewish people.
Tori saying, why are you laughing? Because he said, like, call me on Friday, but then I did it and they called me and like, oh, you already did it. And you said, like, well, why didn't you call me earlier? Why am I laughing? I'm laughing at his joke.
And a lot of other people.
He's funny. He's actually a good comedian, Trump.
People too. I recognize Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and I cut taxpayer funding to the corrupt United Nations Relief and Works Agency. And United Nations was interesting because, as you know, a few days ago, they introduced me. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States. I'm looking at my teleprompter, and the thing was dead, stone cold, dead. The thing's up here. I have a long, beautiful speech to make. I'm back 30 feet back, and I'm saying, they're introducing me. There's nothing on my teleprompter. So, but I made a speech. I actually got good marks. You think Biden could have done that? I don't think so. I don't think he could have done that. I don't think too many people could have done it. But actually, it was actually.
This is so funny. Like, he's here announcing one of the most historical agreements between so many countries about the future of the Middle East. Okay. And he, in the middle of it, he wants to remind you that during his UN speech, the teleprompter stopped working, and he gave a speech anyways, and the speech was good, and Biden wouldn't, and Biden would never be able to do such a thing. Just so that you guys know, in the
more of a speech from my heart. If you want to know the truth, I think it was maybe better in certain ways because it was from the heart. It has to be from the heart, otherwise you're in big trouble.
Yes.
But I cut taxpayer funding for that very corrupt United Nations Relief and Works Agency, and nobody thought that would be done, and withdrew from the horrible Iran nuclear deal that was imposed upon Israel by Barack Hussein Obama and Biden. And I don't think Biden knew anything about it, though. I don't think he knows anything about it now, actually, if you ask him. You say, what is that? And we obliterated Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity, making it impossible for them to have a nuclear weapon, which they would have had probably in about 2 months from that.
Yep.
But I've never asked Israel to compromise its security, but we had big, strong talk. Nobody's been better to Israel. No president's been better to Israel than Donald Trump. But we had a long.
Well, you could, I mean, sure, but you could even be better by not standing in their way when they're finishing their job in Iran. But sure, you're better than other presidents.
No president's been better to Israel than Donald Trump. But we had a long, strong talk, Bibi and I, and he understands it's time. It's time. History has shown. And the people of Israel want it. And the people of the Middle East want it. The people of enemies of Israel want it, but they don't have really too many enemies right now. And you know what? Many countries have gained great respect for Israel, for the way they fight, for the job they do, including me.
Yeah, there's the so-called enemies of Israel in the Middle East. A lot of them have huge respect for Israel. Like the people who issue so many statements against Israel, condemning them of genocide and other acts, secretly, not very secretly, because they don't really hide it that much, they admire Israel. Saudi Arabia admires Israel. The UAE admires Israel. Even Qatar admires Israel because they understand the language of power, force. They understand Egypt, Jordan, all of these countries in the Middle East. They really admire Israel, and they secretly, some of them secretly want Israel to win because Israel is fighting their enemies as well.
I had respect anyway, but they gained respect. History has shown us that those who have relations with Israel have thrived, while those who have devoted resources and attention toward the destruction and even annihilation of Israel have languished. They haven't done well. Israel is not going anywhere. They're going to coexist with other people and countries in the region, from Syria to Lebanon to Saudi Arabia. The promise of a new Middle East is so clearly within our reach. This is the closest we've ever come to real peace, not fake peace, not political fool's peace. If we can get this difficult problem solved, the opportunities for all within that vast region of this world, it's a vast region, it's unlimited. The Abraham Accords show that all countries are better off when they communicate and work together and embrace new opportunities. I hope Jared and Steve and Susie and Marco and JD, we have great people. I hope you guys are going to work very hard to get these other countries in, because now they have no excuse. There's no longer an excuse.
Not only they have no excuse, they could see anybody that stands against Israel gets annihilated. Look at history. Any group of people or any country that works with Israel, that supports Israel, prospers. And anybody that stands in the way of Israel, just look at what happened to the people that came before you. And then make a decision. Choose wisely.
They were somewhere hesitant. And I tell you, the 4 countries that went in, I give them tremendous credit. And it's worked out incredibly well for them. In the same spirit, I'm pleased to report that earlier today, we took another important step toward greater understanding of the region. A short time ago, we had a historic phone call in the Oval Office with Prime Minister Tony, who's really a great person. So we had a great talk, and I was on the phone, and Bibi was talking. Prime Minister Al Thani was of Qatar. They really had a heart-to-heart conversation. It was a great conversation, I thought. It was productive. It was everything that you need to have something turn out to be successful. And I want to thank Bibi, and I want to thank the Prime Minister. It was fantastic. We agreed to launch a formal trilateral mechanism between Israel, Qatar, and the United States to begin a dialogue to enhance mutual security, correct misperception.
Look at this. Look at this. Israel just went and bombed Hamas in Qatar. And not only there's no consequences, like, oh, now Israel's like, oh, we're sorry, we apologize. But look, there's no consequences to Israel. And Qatar knows that they cannot do anything. They're actually working with each other now. This is the truth. Nothing can stand against Israel. The best you can get is Israel coming out and saying, like, okay, we're sorry. But that's all. That's all you could get. Nothing can stand against Israel.
Exceptions and avoid future misgivings. And I want to thank Qatar, its leadership, and the Emir. He's a fantastic person. I think, I'm going to be his public relations man because I know him differently than a lot of people know him. But he wants peace. He wants to see peace. And his people, and they really acknowledge the critical role that they've played as mediator. And again, we're not quite finished. We have to get Hamas, but I think they're going to be able to do this. So now it's time for Hamas to accept the terms of the plan that we've put forward today. And again, this is a different Hamas than we were dealing with because I guess over 20,000 have been killed. Their leadership has been killed 3 times over. So you're really dealing with different people than we've been dealing with over the last 4 years, 5 years. Everyone has done their part and come to the table in good faith. Our Arab and Muslim partners are fully prepared to step up and fulfill their commitments for the benefit of the people of Gaza and the entire region. They're willing to step up and do a lot. They really are. There are a lot of good people involved. Everybody who wants to see an end to the violence and destruction should be united in calling for Hamas to accept the extremely fair proposal so that we can end the war and get us back our hostages right now and have everlasting peace. And I look forward to having relationships with everyone. As the chairman of the board, I'll be involved, and we'll have meetings with some very smart people that'll be working.
Trump just got a new job. He's the chairman of the board of a peace board. That's great.
Over there to make sure that we haven't just been wasting time with an agreement that doesn't get done. The task of building peace will not be easy. There are some of the hardest problems in the world to solve, and that's why it's been going on for so many centuries. But too many lives are at stake not to try, and this is more than a try. I mean, I think this is something that gets done when you have virtually every country, and these are powerful countries that have a lot of money, and the money can make things happen. A lot of countries try and they don't have any money. These are very rich countries that can make things happen. So together we'll forge a much safer and more hopeful future for everybody, including Israel. And I want to thank Prime Minister Netanyahu for his partnership. And I want to thank all of the leaders, the kings and the emirs and the presidents and prime ministers, people I mentioned. And they've been absolutely fantastic to work with. And it's just happened very quickly. It's happened from a couple of weeks before I had a couple of meetings, but a couple of weeks before we went to the United Nations, and we had some incredible meetings. It all came to place. It all took place, and everybody wanted to be a part of it. I don't have anybody that's saying we don't want anything to do with it. It's just the opposite. And I'll tell you, a couple of years ago, a year.
I'm liking this new direction of Trump because he's becoming more in line with Israel, and also more in line with Ukraine, more anti the Islamic Republic, more anti-Putin. That things are moving in the right direction.
Don't want anything to do with it. It's just the opposite. And I'll tell you, a couple of years ago, a year ago, I don't think we would have had this kind of participation, Mr. VP, right? I don't think we would have had. It's been amazing. The participation was 100%. Everybody wants to be a part of it. And everybody, those very strong countries, everybody wants it to work. So, Bibi, congratulations on this. I think this will be your crowning achievement, frankly. If this all works out, we think it will. It's going to be your crowning achievement. And I want to thank you very much for being here. Thank you, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President, first, I want to thank you for graciously hosting me once again in the White House. And second, I want to thank you for your friendship and for your leadership. From Jerusalem to Tehran, from the Golan Heights to Gaza, you've proven time and again what I've said many times. You are the greatest friend that Israel has ever had in the White House. And Mr. President, you and I both know it's not even close. While you focus at home on making America great again, your leadership abroad is changing the world for the better, ending wars and advancing peace. I believe that today we're taking a critical step towards both ending the war in Gaza and setting the stage for dramatically advancing peace in the Middle East.
I bet you Bibi doesn't think Hamas will say yes to this, and this is basically going to give them the green light to go, fuck them up. I bet you this is what Netanyahu is thinking right now.
And I think beyond the Middle East, very important Muslim countries. I support your plan to end the war in Gaza, which achieves our war aims. It will bring back to Israel all our hostages, dismantle Hamas's military capabilities, end its political rule, and ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to Israel. We would not have achieved this turning point without the courage and sacrifice of our incredibly brave soldiers. They fight like lions to defend the people of Israel, and they serve on the front line in the war between civilization and barbarism.
Yes. Wow. Wait. Does Bibi watch my shows? Wasn't I saying this yesterday, guys, on the live stream? Somebody asked me, "Do you consider this a war between civilizations?" And I said no, because the Islamic side is not a civilization. This is a war between civilization and barbarism. It's not a war between two different kinds of civilizations. It's the war between civilization and barbarism. This is Hey, BB, hi! Subscribe to our channel. I think you watch our show.
And they serve on the front line
Look.
in the war between civilization and barbarism.
Yes!
Mr. President,
He watches my show.
when our two countries stand shoulder to shoulder, we achieve the impossible. Just a few months ago, in Operation Rising Lion and Operation Midnight Hammer, we struck a decisive blow against Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile program.
Islamic Republics, not Iran's. Okay, just a minor correction. BB, minor correction. Those are the Islamic Republics, not Iran. Okay, separate the two.
Decisive blow against Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile program. Your bold decision to send those B-2s made the region safer and the world safer.
Okay, I disagree. If Trump didn't send those B-2s, then he wouldn't have an excuse to tell you to stop the war, and Khamenei would be dead by now. So I kind of a little bit of disagreement here. Yeah.
Now, under your leadership, we're taking the next step to win the war and expand the peace. Your plan is consistent with the 5 principles my government set for the end of the war and the day after Hamas. Everybody asks, what is your plan for the day after Hamas? Here's our plan.
Yes. Nice.
Pass it in the cabinet. All our hostages, both those who are alive and those who died, all of them will return home immediately. Hamas will be disarmed. Gaza will be demilitarized.
Yes.
Israel will retain security responsibility, including a security perimeter for the foreseeable future. And lastly, Gaza will have a peaceful civilian administration that is run neither by Hamas nor by the Palestinian Authority.
Oh, great. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. The final agreement did not involve the Palestinian Authority. This is what we wanted. Okay, good, because this is what we wanted. People are like, oh, we're getting rid of Hamas. Who comes in? Palestinian Authority. They're terrorists as well. So it's not going to be. This is what Bibi wanted. Like, if you guys gonna come, somebody to rule over Gaza, it cannot be Hamas. It cannot be the Palestinian Authority either. So that's written. Trump agrees to it. It seems like the Arab countries in the region agree to it. So that's good. This is a great progress. Guys, like the stream. This is great.
It's run neither by Hamas nor by the Palestinian Authority.
Nice.
If Hamas agrees to your plan, Mr. President, the first step will be
Oh, he's going to say, like, if Hamas agrees, we're going to do this and this and this. But if it doesn't, then stand the fuck out of our way. Just everybody, the entire world, just shut the fuck up, because this is their last chance, okay?
If Hamas agrees to your plan, Mr. President, the first step will be a modest withdrawal, followed by the release of all our hostages within 72 hours.
If. This is a huge if.
The next step will be the establishment of an international body charged with fully disarming Hamas and demilitarizing Gaza.
Oh, yeah, and Hamas will say yes to this, guys. What are the chances Hamas will say yes to this?
I appreciate you.
Guys, don't forget to like the stream. This is amazing.
And demilitarizing Gaza. I appreciate your willingness to lead the body, Mr. President. I really appreciate it, because you have a lot of things to do, and this is important. And it reflects the confidence that this will give everyone, that things will be followed up on all the commitments made. The fact that you're taking this on, I think, helps a lot to make sure that everything flows in the direction that we want. Now, if this international body succeeds, we will have permanently ended the war. Israel will conduct further.
This is such a win-win for Israel. Like, oh, you want peace? Okay, we accept a peace if there is no Hamas. If, like, Israel just accepted peace if the peace means that there's 0 left out of Hamas. Okay, yeah, sure, we'll accept peace if that's the result. And if not, if we have still Hamas, then the terms have been violated. So now we can do whatever we want. This is such a win-win. This is such a win-win for Israel. And it seems like Somehow Trump has managed to get everyone to agree to it.
Withdrawals linked to the extent of disarmament and demilitarization, but will remain in the security.
Because, guys, we were against a ceasefire if ceasefire means that Hamas gets to stay. Okay? If ceasefire means Hamas gets to survive, then fuck ceasefire, right? So now they're saying that they have a peace deal with the condition that there is zero left out of Hamas. Okay, that's great. Sure, if you can make that happen, why not?
Perimeter for the foreseeable future. I think we should understand that we're giving everybody a chance to have this done peacefully, something that will achieve all our war objectives without any further bloodshed. But if Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President,
if the rich one is going to do,
or if they supposedly accept it and then
this is the genius of Netanyahu. We're like, hey, okay, Trump, what do you want? You want peace? You agree that this is the only way that we could get peace, right? Trump says yes. Okay, if we don't get that, can we then do that? Trump's like, sure, right? And this is the beautiful. This is the beautiful part of this deal.
any further bloodshed.
But
if Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President, or if they supposedly accept it and then basically do everything to counter it, then Israel will finish the job by itself.
yes,
This can be done the easy way, or it can be done the hard way.
the end result is the end of Hamas. Either way, it's the end of Hamas. And this deal gives Israel the international legitimacy to do what it needs to do, because Hamas was given a chance, agreed upon by all these countries.
But it will be done. We prefer the easy way, but it has to be done. All these goals must be achieved because we didn't fight this horrible fight, sacrifice the finest of our young men to have Hamas stay in Gaza and threaten us again and again and again.
Yes.
With these,
please, Israelis who are against Netanyahu, please understand the hostages are very, very important. It's also important that you make sure that this never happens again, so you don't have to negotiate over hostages again. That's also very important. A lot of Israelis are against Netanyahu because hostages are not home. You have to understand that Israel wants to make sure, your government is trying to make sure that this never happens again, so you don't have to be in this position in the future.
in Gaza and threaten us again and again and again with these horrific massacres. Mr. President, I was encouraged by your clear statement at the UN against the recognition of a Palestinian state. That would be an outcome that, after October 7th, would reward terrorism, undermine security, and endanger Israel's very existence. As for the Palestinian Authority, I appreciate your firm position that the PA can have no role whatsoever in Gaza without undergoing a radical and genuine transformation. In your 2020 peace plan, which you mentioned just now, you made clear what that transformation requires. It's not lip service. It's not checking a box. It's a fundamental, genuine, and enduring transformation. And that means ending pay to slay, changing the poisonous textbooks that teach hatred to Jews, to Palestinian children, stopping incitement in the media, ending lawfare against Israel at the ICC, the ICJ.
So, guys, look at the level of involvement we're suggesting here. We're not just talking about removal of Hamas. We're talking about getting to a situation where we have to stop brainwashing the children in Gaza.
Requires.
Look at this
transformation. In your
whoa,
position that the PA could have no role whatsoever in Gaza without undergoing a radical and genuine transformation. In your 2020 peace plan, which you mentioned just now, you made clear what that transformation requires. It's not lip service. It's not checking a box. It's a fundamental, genuine, and enduring transformation.
Yes.
And that means ending pay to slay, changing the poisonous textbooks that teach hatred to Jews, to Palestinians.
Yes, that's very important, guys. It's not just Hamas. You need to basically completely change what's poisoning the culture in Gaza and the West Bank.
Children,
Or Judea
stopping
Samaria.
incitement in the media, ending lawfare against Israel at the ICC, the ICJ,
Yes.
recognizing the Jewish state, and many, many other reforms.
Yeah, so when you go into Gaza, whoever is moderating or managing or governing over Gaza, they need to basically completely re-educate the population there.
It won't come as a surprise to you that the vast majority of Israelis have no faith that the PA Leopard will change its spots.
Right.
But rather than wait for this miraculous transformation, your plan provides a practical and realistic path forward for Gaza in the coming years, in which Gaza will be administered neither by Hamas nor the Palestinian Authority, but by those committed to a genuine peace with Israel.
Nice.
I think this can be not only a new
I wonder how those people will survive. Like, who are you going to send in there to govern that area without them getting assassinated by just random Islamic groups there? That sounds like the most dangerous job in the world.
beginning for Gaza. I think it can be a new beginning for the entire region. Under your leadership, we can re-energize. I've got to contribute my own. We can re-energize the Abraham Accords. That's what it's called in the original Hebrew. Abraham. Abraham is fine. Abraham, however you want to call it.
Wait, my contribution is Ibrahim. So Abraham, Avraham, and the Persian one, Ibrahim. Okay. So, well, that's Arabic as well.
Your leadership, Mr. President, we can re-energize the Abraham Accords that we forged 5 years ago. We can expand them to many more Arab and Muslim nations that choose moderation over extremism. I think there's an opportunity here. It's not.
But guys, not as I have in my own Persian bias. None of this sounds as beautiful as not Cyrus, but Kurush. Okay, so Ibrahim, Abraham. Okay, none of that sounds. Not even the Cyrus Accord sounds good, because Cyrus, the actual name of Cyrus is Kurush. So Peyman Kurush. That's the most epic sounding one. Yes.
Moderation over extremism. I think there's an opportunity here. It's not going to be easy. It's tough going, but I think if we succeed, you're absolutely right. We're going to open possibilities that nobody even dreamed of. But I think we dream of them. As you've told me, Mr. President, and you've told the world many, many times, you said, remember October 7th. Remember October 7th. And we do. We will never forget the horrors of October 7th, and we will do whatever is necessary to make sure they don't happen again. Since October 7th, Israel's enemies have learned a hard truth.
Oh,
those who attack us pay a heavy price, but those who partner with us advance progress and security for their peoples.
That has always been true in history, not just Israel. The Jews, for some reason, any society that took care of its Jews, welcomed its Jews, flourished. Any society that went against them suffered. And now, on a nation state level, any country that goes against any country or group of people that goes against Israel will find themselves destroyed one way or another at some point. And any country in the world, any society, any group of people in the world that cooperates and works with and is an ally of Israel prospers.
Us advance progress and security for their peoples.
Guys, we got 200 likes. Did we get 200 likes? Thank you, guys. That's very nice.
President Trump just said it. It's also in the Bible. It says, those who will bless you will be blessed, and those who will curse you will be cursed. And that's actually what is happening. We want the blessings. I think we've done a lot in the past 2 years to end the curse. We're not finished, but we've done a lot. And we've done a lot together to end the curse. I want to thank your entire team for their efforts to get to this point. I especially want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for their indefatigable work to bring Israel and Arab states in the region closer together. I am deeply grateful to both of them for their work. We had a phone call today just to make it clear. I said to the Prime Minister of Qatar, Israel was targeting terrorists, wasn't targeting Qatar. And of course, we regretted the loss of the Qatari citizen, wasn't our target.
Yeah, by the way, that is what Israel did in Qatar is not at all a crime. If it's a crime, like, I don't understand. Guys, how is it that when United States went and bombed Osama bin Laden in Pakistan without informing the Pakistani government, without their permission, and Pakistan being a U.S. ally that gets a lot of aid from U.S., did anybody in the world, like, did you guys see the world coming out and condemning the United States? Or was most of the world celebrating the United States bomb, like, coming into Pakistan and, taking out Osama bin Laden, even without the permission of Pakistan? Like, everybody understood that that was an okay thing to do because it was Osama fucking bin Laden. Like, the only people that were angry were the Pakistani government. Everybody else was like, yeah. So why is it now that the world is condemning Israel in a way that they didn't condemn United States? Can somebody explain? Is it because they're Jews? Is it because it's Jews? It's the Jew thing, huh? It's the Jew thing.
The Qatari citizen wasn't our target. And I very much appreciate President Trump's proposal to have a trilateral body, the United States, Israel, and Qatar, to work out respective grievances. There are quite a few. But if we can try to mitigate them or put it on a different footing, I think that'll be good for everyone. Above all the people, the fine team, many helpers who've done this, I want to thank you, Mr. President. History has already shown that under your leadership, Israel and America can change the face of the Middle East.
Oh, wait, we got an answer from Jack. Jack is saying, 1, the Jew factor. 2, yeah, actually, this is a good one. Jack is saying, 2, they expect Israel to make agreement with Hamas, unlike US, who wasn't expected to make agreement with Osama bin Laden. Yeah, and that's actually a very good point, because they don't understand that Hamas was just buying time. Hamas was also not interested in an agreement. Hamas just was using for ways to survive so it could violate the agreements, because, hey, Hamas had an agreement with Israel, a peace agreement with Israel, on October 6th, 2023. So they don't have a really good record of abiding by those agreements. So, yeah, I don't think, so the world doesn't understand that Hamas was never interested. Seriously, they were pretending to be interested in peace, but they're never interested in peace. So, yeah, number 2 doesn't, yeah, it's not a good job. Oh, wow, we got 266 likes. Thank you, guys.
And today I'm hopeful that your plan to end the war in Gaza will do so again and do so soon. It will free our hostages, end Hamas's tyranny in Gaza, and enable a more secure and prosperous future for the peoples of our region. Thank you, Mr. President. May God bless America. May God bless Israel. May God bless the indispensable alliance between our countries. And may I add in Hebrew, may we all be inscribed in the book of life. Thank you.
Wait, we got 2 comments I wanted to respond to. Amir was saying most Israelis understand the situation. They're against his what undemocratic policies, more like his failure in pushing. Yeah, so I understand that part. I'm not. Yeah, those Israelis that are have complaints against Netanyahu because of his because of him violating the separation between the executive branch and the judiciary branch. That is, I have no problem with that. I'm talking specifically, I'm not saying they're the majority. I'm talking about specifically those Israelis who think that Netanyahu doesn't care about the hostages. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's a legitimate concern. However, I do think that at time of war, you should be supporting your prime minister, even if you have those disagreements with him. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. When you are in war, I think you should support your prime minister. Do you guys agree with me? But I see your point, Amir. I do agree. Okay, Amir agrees. I do agree with that criticism that people have with Netanyahu. That's not what I'm complaining about. That's a fair criticism. And then another Amir was saying, Armin, just to clarify, I'm against him. So these are, by the way, guys, both Amirs here are Israelis. Okay. So Amir here saying, just to clarify, I'm against him as a politician, but he does what we must in war. I'm not against my leadership under war. That's really good. That's a very, very good position. Really good position. You guys are very mature. We have a very mature community here in our live stream.
Thank you very much, baby.
By the way, Amir, the first time I went to Israel, my friend there was Amir, and I kept on thinking he must be Arab because I thought Amir is an Arab name. But now I realize that Amir is also a Hebrew name.
So I think
Wow, so many questions.
while we wait for these documents to be signed and get everybody in.
Anyways, I think we're good for today. We did good. We did really good. Hold on, let me see what Trump says here.
And I think it maybe is not really appropriate to take questions. I'm meeting with, as you know, a couple of Democrats in a little while about the country, about keeping our country open. They're going to have to do some things because their ideas are not very good ones. They're very big.
Oh, he's complaining about the Democrats again. Okay. So his favorite thing to do. Guys, here's a hint for any politicians that want to get on the good side of Trump. Just shit on Biden. Okay? If you just shit on Biden, if you are on TV and you think that Trump might be watching that show and you want to, get his attention, just make sure you find any excuse possible to say something negative about Biden. You will get on his good side like that. Okay? Like that. Oh, hold on. Wait, Shani, we got another super chat. Oh, no, we got our first super chat. Hey, we didn't get many super chats today. Shani saying the Israelis plan to give heads of families. Wait, the Israelis plan to give heads of families from the peaceful families of the Gaza Strip who have influence to control areas. What are you saying? Hold on. I don't understand. Let's decode this. The Israelis plan to give heads of families from the peaceful families of the Gaza Strip who have influence to control areas in Gaza Strip. Okay, this is a very long sentence. You need to add some commas. They're planning to give the heads of families who are peaceful influence. Okay. Is that really the plan? Well, if that's the plan, then these families are going to get assassinated. Some of these families are going to, I mean, that's a very dangerous. Like, if I was a peaceful family in Gaza who wanted to basically, who was anti-Hamas and wanted the war to end, and I didn't want any hostility with Israel, if the American-Israeli plan comes and says, we pick you for influence in Gaza, I'm like, oh my God, please no, you have cursed me and my family. We are all in danger now. Like, we have been picked by imperialists and Zionists to have influence in Gaza. Like, you have signed this is basically a death sentence, isn't it? Like, isn't that like a, like you have cursed us, you have destroyed my entire bloodline by you have put a mark on our head. What the fuck are you doing? Why do you hate us so? Okay, I don't know if that's a good idea. Like, imagine being a Zionist picked family in Gaza, a family that has been handpicked by the Zionists, and you live in Gaza. Now, I don't know. Yeah, so Shani is saying, give us another super chat. Is saying it's already happening voluntarily. Okay. I'm just scared for these people. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just worried for them. I hope, I mean, these are brave people. I don't know. We'll see. These people are braver than me. Well, I mean, thankfully, brave people do exist. So let's see what happens. Somebody saying, what flag is that? That's the flag of Iran, the proper flag of Iran. The flag that you see of Iran is not the real flag. That's the Islamic Republic flag. This is the actual flag of Iran. Thank you. All right, guys. I'm going to head out. And thank you. This was a very good stream. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. This was fun. We had a lot of fun. And hopefully either this works, or if it doesn't, I hope Hamas ends one way or another. Either the easy way or the hard way. Oh, Gina saying Tony Blair, the czar of Gaza, was not what I expected. Yes, I didn't expect Tony Blair either, but it's interesting. All right, guys. Don't forget to like the stream. Leave a comment after the show is over. Recommend our channel, YouTube channel, Atheist Republic, to your friends and enemies. And yeah, tell people word of mouth is the way to grow a channel. Just go recommend us. Go tell people that this is a good channel to subscribe to. And hit the bell notification. All right, guys? And I'm going to head out. Thank you, guys. Love you guys. I'm Israel Chai. Javid Shah.